They need to bust into the dairy farm, Mission Impossible style, but they can't do so unless they get the help of this bull who also lives there, who wants to be reunited with his former lover. So
boy, that shit. Just even hear you say
I know. I'm like, yeah, imagine him saying it and then you got to see it on a big screen.
And even Garfield's like, wait, why am I still involved in this?
Yeah, Garfield even asked, what the f*** you me for?
Well, you're the one that's making the money.
I don't like him, which means I don't like you either.
Yeah.
Stupid ass.
Both of y'all.
Yeah. I'll be back to doing my comedy show in New York. And you can get your tickets now for that. People, you know that I've been going to New York and doing a comedy show there, and it's been going very well. The venue has been asking us to come back and just pretty much gave us a regular thing now. So I'll be there on June 21st, back at the Broadway Comedy Club and back in the Red Room, 9:30 show this time. Get your tickets now. These shows have been selling out every time we do them. And you can get your tickets by going over to BroadwayComedyClub.com, or you can go to Double Toasted NY and get your tickets now. Listen, the world's most famous lazy cat is forced to get off his ass and make a movie. Now, you know, making a movie is hard work. Even if you just act in it. Yeah, you got to get up your ass and do something. And can we actually get an hour and 40 minutes out of a cat that don't like to do a goddamn thing but eat and complain? That is his trademark. I sleep and I eat lasagna and I complain about certain days of the week. Let's make a movie. So, hey, you know what? I'm very curious. I was very curious. What is the final verdict on that? Well, let's go ahead and look at this trailer for old Garfield, who's finally, after all these years, listen, of course he's had some movies. He's even had TV shows. But some people are saying, you know, as far as the big screen goes, this is the first time we've seen the authentic Garfield right here. None of that old bad CG, Bill Murray ass bullshit we got going. This is the
one they put money into.
This is the one they put money into. This is one the world's been waiting on. Has been worth the wait. Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer for Garfield, the motion picture.
Is that what it's called?
That what it's called for real?
That's what it's called. Garfield, the motion picture.
Oh, boy.
That's how much cinema is here.
The fuck? Yeah. It's called Garfield the movie.
Garfield, no, not the movie. Everybody can make a movie. This is a motion picture. That says epic. And we'll be back.
Good thing I look at the damn poster.
Yeah, man. Maybe you should have. Giving it respect. We'll look at this trailer. We'll be back.
Now my rating dropped. I just kidding.
How dare you? How dare you disrespect Garfield, man?
He's the master.
Yeah, this man.
He's been around. He's a legend.
Yeah, Garfield ought to be your daddy. We'll be back with our reviews.
Good morning.
Oh, that cat's a goner.
You think you can battle?
Why?
Cat ain't even moving that much. That cat is barely that.
Really in the damn movie.
That cat has one scene. Just one. They act like this cat is gonna be Garfield's best friend.
Well, they also act like you go like, oh, Snoop Dogg's in the movie? Oh, I gotta see it now.
Yeah, man, Snoop Dogg is
one scene.
You think you can battle these villains on your own?
Oh, so high. Oh, it's really hurting. Ow, ow, ow.
You saw nothing.
People, let me.
I learned something from this movie.
I did too.
If you do a gag and it's not really funny, if you keep repeating it,
it gets funny.
No, I got nothing. Sorry.
People, when this movie that you just saw makes this movie look better.
You just need a little guidance, that's all. Where's the flower? Who's got it?
People, when this movie makes A Tale of Two Kitties, makes you say, maybe they got that right. Then you know something is horribly wrong.
Maybe I misjudged you.
Yeah, man, when you look at A Tale of Two Kitties and be like, you know what, that was Garfield right there. They had it right. They had the right idea with that.
Yeah, we were too harsh.
Yeah, I was too rough on A Tale of Two Kitties right there. You know, those kitties were all right, man. These dogs and everything else over here. Yeah, you know.
Goddamn dog.
Turning a babe all of a sudden. Yeah, when this right here, with my man, when hip hop Garfield looks more correct than this Garfield we got right here. Something is horribly wrong. Okay, boy, let's listen.
I sat there the whole time going, "Where's Bill Murray when we need him?"
Tell me about it, man. I never thought I'd be asking for Bill Murray to come back. Bill, I'm sorry. Please.
You all drove him away. It's your fault.
I'm sorry.
I sort of like that first one.
Come back.
So Garfield's a character that's been around since 1979. I believe that was his debut. Maybe. I think so. By the now legendary cartoonist Jim Davis, who's a billionaire now. I mean, Garfield is pretty much his empire. So a lot of people grew up with Garfield. A lot of people, they have a lot of nostalgia, closeness, and love for that character. It's a character that got them through every day, at least Sundays, in the color Sunday funnies right there. And yeah, it was almost the same joke over and over again, but it was something comforting about that. You know, as far as this goes, for those who love the comics, man. And we all know the comics, whether you like Garfield or not. As far as this movie, taking that comic and doing it justice, let me just say this. It only does what is absolutely obligated to do as far as that comic goes. He loves lasagna.
Say when. Never, John. Bury me in cheese.
He ate lasagna, y'all. We did it. Hey, he said he hate Mondays.
Please, no. Ow, it's so hot. Ow, it's really hurting. Ow, ow, ow.
And that's why we should go from Sunday to Tuesday.
People, what more y'all want? He said he hate Mondays. I mean, damn, we did it.
I love how they took a random collection of Garfield strips and reproduced those in 3D in one montage, and then went, all right then, it's enough Garfield.
Yeah, there you go.
The movie.
As far as that comic strip goes, we did what we were supposed to do. We met our obligation. Now the shit's on you. If you don't like it. And don't get me wrong, y'all. I grew up with Garfield too. Yeah, I mean, every kid did. You can act cool all you want to. You know, I grew up laughing at Garfield and, oh, yeah, he's eating more lasagna. He's sleeping. You know, but listen. Do they get the character right from the comic? I mean, as simple as this character is, no. And that's probably the problem. He's too simple. And listen, I'm not a Garfield purist, okay? I'm not going to sit up here and say, this ain't my Garfield. I'm not going to pull that shit, especially for a movie that they're trying to aim at little kids. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not gonna hold that against this. I'm not gonna hold that against these kids out there that want to see this. But I will call you out when it's obvious, very obvious, that you just threw some shit together because you have the property and you don't know what to do with it for an hour and 40 minutes. And people, you hear what you're saying? A cat, there's a two-joke cat.
Two-joke cat. Like a cat comic strip in itself.
Yeah. Two-joke cat. That should have been the name. A cat that's a comic strip cat is a two-joke. It's a two-joke cat right here, man. And they trying to get this thing should have been an hour and 15 minutes. Probably shouldn't even been a movie. Should have been.
It should have been like a 45-minute, like hour-long special.
It should have been what they did with it one time before. We'll talk about this in a little while. Should have been a 30-minute show. All right, he's up here trying to get an hour and 40 minutes out of this. So that's what happens. So you make the most generic family film when you got too much time to fill. And I'd be damned if this movie didn't take one of the most generic storylines for a family movie, but it took two. Mm-hmm. Again, two-joke cat over here, man. What did they take? The road trip.
Yeah.
The road buddy trip and the heist.
Yep.
I'd be damned, boy. The movie is so bland that it drives itself crazy. Because it just goes off the rails at one point.
It goes off the rail. It's like it forgot what its purpose was. Yeah. It's like, we got to do this, but well, let's go off into this other thing. And it's like, oh yeah, well, what did we start out doing?
Yeah,
it don't matter.
This movie loses its damn mind, and I'm gonna sit up here and give it a compliment because I I actually kind of like the beginning of it.
Me too.
You know,
okay.
for 10 minutes, maybe less, for 10 minutes, this movie feels normal. It feels like they actually got something to do. At the beginning, it's not only kind of cool and it's kind of good, but it's the origin of how John adopted Carbuncle. John Carbuncle, y'all, voiced by I'm dressed like a war boy. Nicholas Hoult.
Oh yeah,
does the voice.
Oh shit.
Yeah. This is the origin of how he adopted Garfield when Garfield was just a cute little kitty before he became a pain in the ass and decided to sleep all day and do nothing. Some of the gags in the beginning I think are good. The story is told mostly visual. So I thought, all right, you know what? Watching this as a short Garfield film, I kind of like this. I thought the animation was good. Thought the gags were working. I thought this is nice, man. As it's setting up. It's actually telling a story, and it's telling a story that actually relates to this character. Mm-hmm. After that, they said, well, that's all we got. So
we got another hour and 30 minutes.
We got another hour and 30 minutes. So anybody got anything?
Yeah, just throw some ideas. We'll do them all.
Yeah, everybody gave an idea and they said we're using everything. That's stupid, but we still got about 10 minutes.
Time to fill.
Yeah, we still got 10 minutes. People, you think I'm crazy. You think listen to the words coming out of my mouth as I tell you what the plot of this is right here. So listen to me. This is how much they have to fill time. And so this is how much they just start making up random things. So Garfield is kidnapped by two thug dogs and he's taken to their leader, an evil female cat that lives in an abandoned mall, voiced by Hannah Waddingham, who pretty much playing the same character she did in The Fall Guy. Yeah. His dad, who abandoned him years ago, is also there. He actually tried to rescue him. But why did she kidnap Garfield and his dad, Vic, who's voiced by Samuel Jackson and Odie? Well, years ago, Vic, Garfield's dad, he ran a gang of cats. Yo, you here with me? Yo? He ran a gang of cats that were going around stealing milk from dairy farms. And so this one heist they were pulling one day, they got caught. But everybody got away except for Jinx. And Jinx even saw Vic look back at her and Vic was like, all right, bitch, you got caught. I'm not going down. What am I supposed to do? So he ran. So that's when Jinx said, you know what? Now I'm running shit. I got power. Power being she just got two dogs. Yeah. Two stupid ass dogs. But she says, I kidnapped you because you owe me for all those years I spent in the dog pound before I got power. You owe me the milk that we were stealing. And Vic is like, oh, well, gallon of milk coming right up. She said, no, I collect interest, bitch. That's how many years was that I was in the pound? So that comes out to about 1,000 gallons of milk that you owe me. So to pay her back, they also need to bust into the dairy farm, Mission Impossible style, but they can't do so unless they get the help of this bull who also lives there, who wants to be reunited with his former lover. So
boy, that shit. Just even hear you say
I know, I'm like, yeah, imagine him saying it and then you got to see it on a big screen.
And even Garfield's like, wait, why am I still involved in this?
Yeah, Garfield even asked, what the f*** you me for?
Well, you're the one that's making the money.
Yeah, I don't like him, which means I don't like you either.
Yeah.
Stupid ass.
Both of y'all.
Yeah. But y'all, did you hear what I'm saying, y'all? That's what you call random shit. That's what you call filling time. That's what you call just trying to put a movie out because you need a movie.
And getting the help of that bull who wants to reunite with the cow that still lives there, that's not just an incidental. That's a third of the movie.
It is.
This show is shit.
Yeah, it becomes his story after a while. They should have made a movie about his big old ass. Because Garfield is like, Garfield just scrambling to do shit. After a while, he just,
Garfield's like, I'm just here to do physical gags.
Yeah. So yeah, that bull is voiced, speaking of Mission Impossible, voiced by Ving Rhames. I know I'm talking about a cartoon character, okay? I know I'm talking about a cartoon character doing cartoon things. You know, Snoopy did weird stuff too. All right, Snoopy was always fighting the Red Baron. You know, and getting shit and losing.
Snoopy was delusional, and he did those things as an aside.
Yeah, he did. Like when he was cooking Thanksgiving dinner. It was part of Snoopy's character. One, Snoopy did all these things because Snoopy was cooler than his owner.
Right.
Because Charlie Brown was such a loser that even your dog is cooler than you.
Right. And Snoopy would forget that he's a dog.
Yeah, it was completely in character for him to do these things. This movie right here is let's just throw some shit together to fill time.
Yeah.
Whether it's consistent with the character or not. Boy, y'all out y'all's damn mind, boy.
A big thing this movie is not consistent on the character with is that it has him leaving the house. I mean, one of the biggest things about Garfield is how lazy he is. Lazy and insubordinate and fat, but just lazy. And this is an animated Garfield. This is a Garfield that's taking Ritalin all the time because he's constantly bouncing around and doing stuff and super energetic. And right off the bat, I was like, I don't know what cat this is. This is not Garfield. And,
not my Garfield.
And like, you know, I'm not a Garfield purist, but I was like, man, y'all, and I get it. You guys want to update this and sell this to a new generation of little kids, but you stripped everything from him that made him Garfield. This is just some other random cat.
Yeah, it's because they just made a generic family film. That whole road trip thing, that's just an excuse to just fill time and make a quick script to get those characters out there and cash in. Yeah. Cash in on the IP. You know, because, and listen, I would even tell you this, because it's so absurdly random, I think it does work in some parts when it's being just absolutely silly. But then even those parts, okay, so the movie tries to get sappy. And nobody want to watch Garfield get emotional, okay? Nobody want to watch Garfield.
That's not a Garfield thing.
No, Garfield don't give a. All right, that's one of the things that was funny.
That's actually one of the things that's most endearing about him is that he doesn't give a.
Yeah, Garfield don't give a shit about nobody, all right? No one. I mean, that's what we kind of admire him for being a little asshole like that. We don't want to see him go in here and go, try to reconcile with his father, with his dad. And when I listen, it would be funny if they actually played it up for laughs, but they really do get to points where it's like it slows down. He start talking serious. They start playing that piano music, and I'm like, come on, man, this is Garfield, y'all. This is all this sappy music they're playing. If that's not stopping the movie, it's a terrible joke. He actually looks at the camera at one point and says, "I do all of my own stunts." Me and Tom Cruise. It's like, man.
I'm checking out.
Other gags are just product placement. They have this fool ordering something from Walmart.com, and now be damn if they don't put the camera on Walmart.com while he's ordering it.
Man, you talk about the product placement. This whole movie is a commercial for the Olive Garden that just happens to have Garfield in it. Because they zoom in, they name check Olive Garden, they zoom in on Olive Garden boxes.
They should do. They should do. Yeah, man. Yeah, when he's ever eating that lasagna, you better know it comes from that place where we're family. As you can see, it's a cash grab family film, man. We have an IP in the family film genre or category, and we know that if we just do a bunch of fast-paced stuff. Now, whether that's part of Garfield's character or not, if we just put something on there and make all the jokes that you always hear in these kind of movies, do all the things, all the generic things that you see in all these family films, we'll make money because kids are, they're not discriminating.
Kids are stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's them saying that.
As if the movie wasn't generic feeling enough, boy, Chris Pratt's voice ain't helping, all right?
Jesus Christ,
he
man.
did so much better in Super Mario.
Well, that's the same thing in Super Mario.
I feel like he did better. But
that cat might as well be Super Mario.
but it is one of the things like, popping up, like, voiced by Chris Pratt. You're like, really? You're not going to get anybody with personality? I mean, we had Lorenzo Music, and even Bill Murray knew how to sound Garfield-ish.
Yes.
But okay, well, let's give him a chance. I was like, oh, he's doing nothing.
Yes. At worst, it sounds like Chris Pratt. At best, it just sounds like some dude.
Yeah, some dude. Yeah.
That's another generic thing. Another generic voice to go with the whole generic ass movie. Just sound like any dude. You mentioned it, Martin. Listen, this is what I'm talking about. Garfield is probably best captured. I mean, if you want to make something to cash in on these kids, okay, you got it right here. That's fine. If you want to make something that is clever and cool with Garfield and really capture the essence of what made this character so popular, 30-minute show and finding the right voice. They did a show back in the 80s, I believe. They did a show in the 90s. I think they did one not too long ago that was completely CG. But not only was it the perfect format because it was quick for just those small, snappy jokes. Corny jokes, too. But also, Lorenzo Music was one of the guys that did the best voice for Garfield.
Best voice, yeah.
Whoop-dee-doo, whoop-dee-doo.
People who sing like that should be drug out into the street and shot.
Damn. Wait,
That's
that's the Garfield we talking about. Garfield don't give a murder, kill that son of a bitch. And listen, for a kid's show, he always said that whenever he saw somebody he didn't like, take his ass in the middle of the street and shoot him.
Whoever invented Christmas trees should be drug out into the street and shot.
Boy, he is big on people being dragged out in the street.
Oh, hell yeah. You don't want him for
Straight
president.
face and all.
Shit, don't ever run for president. If he wins, boy, you thought Trump was bad.
Some people are sarcastic when they say that. No, he was dead ass.
Yeah.
Take him down the street and shoot him. I don't like it. But his voice made it sound cool.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to take some, hey, listen, if you're going to give the order to shoot somebody in the middle of the street, hey, you know, hear it from Garfield because he made it sound like a good thing.
Yeah. He was always lazy and cavalier. And yeah, he did not care about anybody's feelings but his own.
Yeah. Man, you talking about just putting voices in there, just throwing voices in there. Like we were saying, man, Snoop Dogg. Boy, let me see here. Like, man, listen, sometimes they just like with Chris Pratt, they just throw Snoop Dogg on anything.
Oh, yeah.
Another character that just randomly sounds like Snoop Dogg.
Oh, that cat's a goner.
So you're like, that cat has nothing to do with Snoop Dogg. Ain't trying to, nothing about that cat. Even if I didn't know Snoop Dogg, I'd be like, I don't look like that voice belongs to that cat.
No. And I just love how that expression, the GOAT, has just played out so much.
I'm going to tell you something. I like the animation here.
Yeah.
For the most part. Okay, so the thing here, the animation is a weird thing with me because I like how it looks in a lot of parts. Like it looks like the Peanuts movie where it's a combination of real looking textures, CG models and, 2D line work. I like that and they kind of do that here. But there's other times where this looks nothing like the comic. Man, let me show y'all something. So, because they did something here, I was like, okay, that just don't fit. That just looks weird. Let me find this right here. Because I thought about this hard. But man, these damn dogs look like something out of another cartoon.
They do.
They don't look like they belong in a Garfield cartoon. They look like something off Adult Swim or something.
Right. It's as if this movie had been made with a different character that wasn't Garfield. And they were like, well, we can use CGI to put Garfield in here instead.
Yeah. These dogs don't look anything like the style of a Garfield movie. And later they get into, I don't even know if we have it, but later they get into something where they have a woman that looks like like she's doing a parody of Fargo. And her character design don't look like anything like these humans that we see. Whether in the comic or this movie. So the animation, while it might be good and smooth and looks professional and whatnot, the design work is really bad. It's really off.
It's patchwork.
Yeah. Feels like they couldn't find much material outside of a show, but wanted to just profit off the IP anyways with the movie. So we ended up with something like this right here.
1,046 people ahead of you. Stop them now!
Anyway. It ended up with something that doesn't capture this character at all. Ended up something they just threw it together. I'm just kind of tired of movies where, especially with family films, because this is not the first time, ain't gonna be the last, where they just, take the most generic elements just to throw something together. It's almost a business model at this point. It actually can be funny in some parts, very, very, very rare parts. And I did like the beginning. So I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you think, man?
Well, I wasn't that crazy about the beginning. It just from the first frame, it was so generic. And in the beginning, maybe, it kind of an introduction, but once it gets going soon after that, this is the kind of movie that is usually the sequel to a first movie. Because the first movie is where you spend a lot of time world building and getting to know the characters, but they just jump right into the road trip plot, or plots plural, which is just more indication of how much they didn't have going on here. They just wanted to make a movie with their IP. This is, if I had one thing I would compliment this movie on, was that it wasn't until halfway through the movie that I realized it was Samuel Jackson. His voice was a little bit different enough, like toned down enough to where it took me a while to go like, oh wait, that is Samuel Jackson. Usually he makes it very well known that it's him. But that's the only good thing I can say about this movie. I honestly went from dislike to just hating this movie, because it is the very definition of a product. It's not a movie, it's a product. They just wanted to make something with the IP, and it's all about selling it to the next generation, or the product placement that goes on in it. And what makes me, pushes me over to being angry about it is the high caliber celebrity voices they got in here. I mean, they got a lot of big famous people going on doing these voices, but no work on the story whatsoever. Like, they're just trying to sell everything on, I don't know if it's an algorithm or just a very cynical kit they put together to make this, and just threw money at it until they had something. And yeah, to me, that kind of thing, like a lot of movies, a lot of these 3D animated movies, they aspire to be Pixar. They can't be, but they aspire. Yeah. And then Illumination, they sort of kind of gave up and said they'd do their own thing, but it's there. This is the kind of movie that aspires to be an Illumination movie and is falling short. To me, this is what I reserve some old bullshit for.
Look, I'll give you guys one positive. Like you said, it's really cool to look at. The animation, I thought, was really done well. But everything else is just flat. Look, if it wasn't for the animation and that this wasn't really aimed towards me, it was aimed towards like little kids, and I got that, it would be way lower, but I'm going to give it a rental.
Yeah, I've given enough praise in some part. I mean, and it's not big praise. Like you mentioned animation, I mentioned animation. I like the look of the animation. I really did like the beginning of the movie. Mm-hmm. I like that short part. I thought that it's only more frustrating because they can't really even follow up on what they set up at the beginning. It's like they really did run out of ideas, because this is, again, a short form character. And it's something, you can make anything work if you really put your mind to it, but they didn't. That's not what that was not their goal right there. Their goal was to actually go in and make money in the laziest way that they can. And it's very obvious what they're doing here. But again, when it really did embrace its silliness, and it does have a very silly tone, that bull that you have in here, there were certain parts where that bull actually made me laugh.
It did?
Yeah. Because there was a joke about him taking like these dramatic pauses. And like I said, it's Ving Rhames doing it. So there was some things in there where, when it was absolutely silly, if that's what you're going to do with this kind of movie, if you're going to have a character that there's not much to them, go for the absurd, go for the silliness. And it worked when it did that. But like I said, that's very, very, very small doses that they did here. And also, again, the audience that they have for this. I mean, it's no excuse, because if we always use small kids as an excuse for, well, it's for them, then nobody would have to make anything of substance or quality. But it really isn't meant for something that adults are going to go in and see, which is fine if you want to take your kids to it, but also kind of sad, because if they had played this right, you really could have gone in and played on the nostalgia of the grown-ups that had grown up with this. And I can tell you right now, ever since 1979, Garfield has raised people, all right? For somebody that don't get off his ass and do anything, he has raised people more than some parents out there. So, yeah, I don't want to go in and just, there's certain parts of this just frustrate me, piss me off. But for the parts that I did, honestly and just openly, like I said, enjoyed, I would give this a low, very, very low rental. Very low. I'm talking about on the outskirts of a bullshit. Like there's the tracks right there. If you cross over, you in bullshit land. Oh, Jesus. I'm looking at things like this and thinking, maybe I should give it some bullshit because this is not even consistent.
They didn't really care. They didn't put in just the minimal effort to make this something just better.
Yeah, I'll give it a low, very, very low, extremely low rental. And I'm talking about the kind of rental where, you need to rent this, put this on, and just parents walk out. Don't even stay in there with them. Let their little asses stay busy. And I'm going to tell you something, with an hour and 40 minutes, this is why this is a low rental, because I might have gone rental if I thought it was good for the kids and it's a nice babysitter. But an hour and 40 minutes, their little asses are going to be up and running around after about an hour and 15, all right?
Yeah.
They ain't going to be paying attention that long.
Get bored, yeah.
They are going to get fidgety and get bored. I can guarantee they're going to be running around, and Garfield is not going to even be able to keep their attention that long. Garfield should be babysitting their little asses. This movie does not need to be an hour and 40 minutes. It's not even going to last with kids that long. Kids got to, they got a short attention spans and they got iPads. You better put an iPad in the room when you show this movie, because if you don't have one, they're going to get up and start tossing shit and breaking shit all around the room.
Well, it's not like the animation keeps amping up or getting better. What have you seen in the beginning? That's about it.
Throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's the first movie to ever get me to get a drink afterwards.
Oh,
I had me a shot of tequila after that shit.
You just want a shot of tequila?
No, that ain't a shot of tequila.
Yeah, Garfield, too lazy to entertain the kids. Somebody said, hell yeah. Anyway, there you go. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.